episode of the Past Show is here today, and we are at Oreos, Ghana. Very soon we'll be interacting with one of Ghana's most influential and youngest entrepreneurs on the continent. But before that, let us go for a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching the Past Show with me, Golda. Now let us take a look at what we have today on personal development tips.
Welcome to the personal development segment on the Past Show with me, Suman. Today I just want to talk about character over identity symbol. So on character and identity symbol, I will touch on how people build their brand considering their symbol representation instead of their character representation. Normally people think brand is about maybe doing logo and other things, but I will urge you to rather look at building a right character towards I build a strong personal brand. Most of the people you know out there is not because of their symbol, but we know them for the character they build on their phone. So whenever you are building a strong personal brand, just look at the character, what you can do, what you can deliver. Let people believe in your skills and not your identity symbol. So therefore, I will urge you towards focus on character representation instead of identity symbol. Subsequent on the show, I'll just be taking you through various branding methods you can use to build a strong brand. My name is Suman once again. See you same time next week.
Thank you so much, Mr. Suman, for that personal development tip. So you want to know my guest for today on the Past Show? Just join me.
Bring it on, bring it on. You, bring it on.
Life know the sweet though, eh? If some people know the hate too. So use the number 6 so and calculate. You go see the ratio. The beef self na me yo.
Bring it.
So moving straight to my guest on the show today, Mr. John Armah, you're welcome to the Past Show.
Thank you for your time.
Alright, thank you. So what would you tell us about yourself? What would you like us to know about yourself? Something brief about who Mr. John Armah is.
So my name is John Armah, and I grew up in a family where in my mom's house there was an inscription that said that my house will not be a mansion but a home for all. And then in my dad's house you had certain scriptures that said, do not be dismayed, I am the Lord thy God. And also at Joshua 1 verse 8, do not let this book of the Lord depart from you. So it was a very humble family. But then in it you found the words that inspired me to want to look beyond my circumstances, which is that we lived in a 1-bedroom in Kanea. We slept in a kiosk before. And there were times when I couldn't even find money to pay my school fees. And it was another thing. But ultimately I'm the first of 4. And the Bible says that there are diversities of gifts. And to each he has given a gift for similarity, which means that while we may be good at so many things, there's always that one thing that you're good at. So I started out by setting up a fund for my community to help pay fees for young people who do not have those opportunities. I worked at Bankara Hotel as an assistant human resource marketing manager. I worked at Ghana International School as a library assistant. I worked in 2 different other firms already at Concept One. And I remember in my first year in Zenith University, first semester before I left, I started an initiative that was matching labor support development, was looking for jobs for people.
Okay.
And after that I realized that, well, if we were tackling an issue of employment and helping young people find jobs when there are no jobs, can we help them create jobs? At the time I was assisting the World Bank Ghana office, communication office, and organizing youth events, youth policy engagements. And so out of that, we put together a policy that addressed the startup ecosystem in Ghana, including tax rebates and so much are now in place. And then from there, we worked on the Yes Fund, Youth Enterprise Support Fund, with other consultants like Isaka, Banana, Harry Yamson, and then now it's NEIP. But along the line, it was all a road to discover myself, what I could do. So out of all of these opportunities that I have, I also did radio for a while. I hosted the Vibe FM shows, Africa Talks. I was on Live FM. I hosted the show on GTV for about 2 years as well. Belonged to a number of groups, What Economic From Global Shapers, which I left, and so on and so on. So out of all of this purpose discovery, I got to a point where I realized what was the future like for me. And the future was that we're going to focus on business development, providing capital to Ghanaian startups, and training, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, so I see that all these experiences led to the birth of Oreos Group.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the secret behind the name Oreos? Is there any secret?
And a lot of people ask me that, and I'll be quick to say that it's by prayer that you get certain things. And I know that for the business world, it is a question of why you mention prayer when they are business principles, but there's a Christian way of doing it. So we're looking for what word would characterize who we are. And Oreos for us was a word that came, which means daring, which means doing things out of the ordinary. And that's what we feel we're doing at the time, because the constraints of starting a business in Ghana is very, very high. It's a tough environment, and so for you to be in it for 9 years was tough. And so the word Oreos is not from any words that exist, but we coined it out of our own. There may be others that exist, but this we own.
So from your speech, one could tell that you are one religious person. So why did you choose to be an entrepreneur?
I don't think that there's a dichotomy between religion and business. I don't think so. I think that both go hand in hand. If you study literature, you realize that the Jews have a way of doing business. They study what we call the Talmud, the Torah, the Mishnah, the Midrash. And these guys are based on the Mosaic law, which is just one part of the Bible. If we as Christians have the whole complete set, which is really the basis for the things we do today, because it talks about evolution, multiplication, which is the word that God gave us. So in that bay to do good, the Bible says, love thy neighbor as thyself. You can't see your neighbor be in a fix and not want to help. So that's the innate understanding of an entrepreneur, where you're looking for problems to solve. And the problems are based on two things. One is on impact and on profit. And so whether or not as an entrepreneur you must be religious, I think absolutely right you must be. Because the calling comes from God. The inspiration is from God. The ideas are from God. And anyone who thinks that there's no God in business, I'm sorry, you fail.
Okay, so can you share with us some of your challenges as an entrepreneur and a young one as such?
I think initially finding capital was a big problem. Finding myself was a journey as well. I think that finding the right people was also a challenge for me. I also think that family, understanding your vision is a tough one, so you need to find a way around it. I also think that it is the issue of a young person trying to do something. That's why I advise many of the people who come to me that refocus, show skills, show value, show results, be true, have integrity, have trust. And those are the things that will shape you at this age for you to be able to succeed. And failure is an option, because sometimes you hit the wall and you don't know what to do. But under the inspiration of God, you're able to always have that innovative capacity to reorient your thinking, to transform what you do. I always say that there are businesses that have a profit margin that it's easier to see the industry cycle and say that this company is likely to succeed. There are others that you see that have a capacity to fail because their margins may be smaller. There are companies that will always have liabilities and those that won't have liabilities. In between all of these are the innovative capacity, the corporate governance, the restructuring processes, whether it's in manpower, whether it's in product, it's in marketing, is what determines the staying power of the business. But ultimately, it is the consumer that determines whether you stay or not. And the ability and the willingness of the consumer to pay for a product are two different things. If you're able to crack the consumer's mind, you continue to pay. That's what I realized. So sometimes you may need to mix your business model. Maybe it's volumes, yours is price, so are you a B2B, are you a B2C, business to business, or business to commerce, consumers, so on and so forth. If you want to start online businesses, note the consumer lifestyle. There are traditional approaches before the modern trends. You need to marry both.
Okay, so would you say that the state of the economy affects your line of business in a way?
I think that to a large extent, it would require governments, and as you hear me say, to create an enabling environment. The cliche is that the macroeconomic fundamentals must be right. But if you study history, not all entrepreneurs have thrived in a very good environment. So yes, we require policy to be in place. We require better understanding of investment laws so that investors can come and support our small businesses. We require better engagement between government and private sector. We require a formidable youth policy that defines youth actors and engages those actors in a progressive manner. We require support for small businesses, small medium enterprises. We require formalization of that base to improve our credit reforms, but also in terms of revenue to state. So there's a lot that must happen for us to thrive. But ultimately, it's also up to you, the entrepreneur, to determine how best you thrive given the circumstances we face. Because there's someone in Zimbabwe who's still running a business, right? And other countries that are running. There's someone in Libya who's still running a business. Even there's a war-torn area now. Even in Syria, someone running a business.
So the state of your economy is not an excuse. Not
it is a factor, but you determine what happened.
Okay. So I see from your profile that you've won many awards in the country. How does it feel?
No, for me it's really about the work and the impact that we have on people. So you'll notice that sometimes I'm very picky about events I go to or platforms that I speak. Because as much as we want the work to speak for itself, so we're happy that our clients in Ghana and Africa, we've been to 16 countries so far from that humble beginning. And we've worked with a number of countries. And if you come to my office, you realize that not everything is displayed also because we want the work to. But it's an honor that God has placed in us a gift that's recognized by many in the world. And I think every entrepreneur must strive to first offer value. And anything that comes after, don't let it get to you. It's just one of those things on the journey. When you stop making impact, that applause will stop. And you will fail. When you let those things prop you up and get your ego hard, and you don't have a real product for people to buy and pay you for it, you'll be broke. Well, awards define you, but they will give you some credit.
Okay, that is a good one then. Mr. John Armah, do you have any leisure time?
Yes, I play with dogs. I have a bull mastiff now. It's going very, very beautifully.
Okay, so I know everyone out there is waiting for my very last question, which will definitely come after this quick break, so we'll go for a break. Welcome back. You're still watching The Pat Show with me, Golda. So back to you, Mr. John Armah. On a lighter, would you say you're single, or you're searching, or you're married? Because I don't see a ring on your finger. Or you took it off?
I'm taken.
Ish.
Very, very taken.
Very, very taken.
A very committed relationship.
Ish.
Yes. So no temptation.
No.
No.
Thank you so much. So let's move back to business.
Okay.
So from now to, let's say, in 5 years' time, where do we see Oreos Group?
We have been at the forefront providing capital to young entrepreneurs. That's a fact. The number of businesses you see today were funded by us. One of the key investments we have is Health Lane Pharmacy. It's in Tema. It's a pharmacy that is around the Tema roundabout. We're opening its second branch very soon. And a number of other investments that we've done. It's a huge investment. But we're humble enough to know that it's not enough. So we're raising a fund, which will close by October. We've already crossed the 50% mark of our fund. So it will see us commit more capital to make it more young entrepreneurs. Just cement our place as a market leader because we understand the space. Imagine what we can do if we provide capital with the expertise that we have to these people. We will continue to be the bedrock of business development for many of the firms that you see, providing them the right strategy for them to grow. We will continue to train the best of any good stage companies in this country. The future for us is bright, for our staff, our partners, for the country, and for the continent, because there are opportunities that are waiting to be supported. And we want to be the name behind the global business giant from Ghana.
Wow.
And that's what we're working towards.
Wow, that is a good one there. So before we sign out, any word or two for any young entrepreneur out there that wants to make it too?
Do not be complacent. Do not be complacent. Be humble, serve, invest in yourself, build your capacity. When you are broke, things become more clearer. So don't fear. It's a period of it's a wilderness that you are in that you need to break out of. And so nothing will be perfect for you to start. And when you're in business, nothing will look too good and strong. But your resilience is what will make who you are and your impact thereof. But ultimately, it's your belief in God that will determine your staying power. It's not the knowledge you have. I've come to realize, no. It's not who you know, but you must build who you know in the network that you are in. But it is who you are serving, which is God, that will determine where He takes you to.
Wow.
And that is very, very clear.
Wow. So it's not all about who you know.
Yes.
You don't have to be complacent and all of that. So before I sign out, let us quickly take a look at what we have today on Business Terms. So we are back on the Pat Show, and thank you so much, Mr. John Armah, for your time and all. We say we've really learned a lot. We pray that God opens more doors to you so that you would be able to impact more lives out there. See you same time next week. Bye.
Bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on. Oh.
Life know the sweet though, eh? If some people know the hate too. So use the number 6 and calculate, you go see the ratio.